Alright, if you can't tell, I said this in my last video, I am sick as a dog. It's all up in here, and what I'm praying and hoping right now is that it's not coronavirus. Because I live in Seoul, most of you know that, but for those of you who don't and just watching for the first time, yesterday we had the third confirmed case of coronavirus in Seoul, or I guess in Korea. The last one yesterday was in Seoul, so I don't think I have it, but if I start getting a fever and a dry cough, which I don't have right now, I'm going to head to the hospital. But until then, it is time for another Symphony X song. And this is called Smoke and Mirrors, and many of you Symphony X fans have challenged Walls of Babylon, because as you all know, you can go check out that last video. I think it was the last one I did was Walls of Babylon. Here, I'll put the card so that you can go check that out, because right now Walls of Babylon is in the top spot for best Symphony X song that I've heard so far, with Iconoclast kind of like right here below it. And we'll see if we can make it through this and you can actually understand what I'm saying, because it sounds like it's all coming from my nose right now. So let's get to it so I don't have to keep talking. Jesus. Sweeps out my ass. Jeez. Oh. Oh, like that. This is like 3 parts, already 3 for 3. That's probably the best lick right there.
It's all perpetual dreams, this hidden life ain't what it seems. Walking dead we are. Victims of misfortune, lies, and torture bringers of demise. Circling up the life of dread. They reap the harvest that we sow and take like trusting fools, promising charade. All the days now disappear from weeks to months, from months to years. Forever bound, shackled to the wall. The night falls, I've seen 1,000 worlds rising in the sky. The night calls, I feel the midnight slowly close my eyes. Oh, touched by the kiss of the sunrise.
Touched by the kiss of the sunrise.
Shadows and fears, behind smoking mirrors, we try to turn back the years.
Trun.
Leaving inside smoking mirrors.
This is balls to the wall for sure.
Sacred and serpentine are hypnotized and twisted theme. Weaves our souls to soar. Like candles in the wind, our echo cries above the din. Fade into this faceless sculpture. In the wheel of chance and fate, spinning as we watch and wait. A mystery to us all. On the edge of sanity, we tread the seas of destiny. Forever bound, silent voices call. The night falls.
Oh, that was a good switch.
I've seen 1,000 moons rising in the sky. The night calls. I feel the midnight slowly close my eyes. Whoa, whoa, touched by the kiss of the sunrise. Live with shadows and fears, behind smoking mirrors. Try
Fast tempo.
to turn back the years. Living inside smoking mirrors.
Oh, great transition right there. Yes. That was the best transition of the song right there. I like this part better than the first part. Oh, back to the... Ooh, that stop. They've done that a couple of times where they stop like that. Oh, here we go, Michael. There's that stop again. Oh, keyboard guitar going back and forth. Jeez. Oh, that was a... yeah. Oh. Dun. That's gonna end. Should be like dun dun. Ooh, even better. Yeah. This is a tough one. The reason this is a tough one is because, number one, it didn't beat Walls of Babylon. I'll say that for, you know, that's clear. It didn't beat Walls of Babylon. I would say it didn't beat Iconoclast. But technically, this song was better than both of them. So that's what makes it weird. Because I don't think overall, the song itself, for me, sits as good as Walls of Babylon or Iconoclast. But when it comes to the technical stuff, it definitely was more technical, and holy shit, the commenters who suggested this song in the last review of Walls of Babylon said that this was Michael's like awesome, probably the best guitar he's done in all the albums or whatever. I don't know because I haven't listened to all the albums, but this certainly was better than Walls of Babylon and Iconoclast. The sweeps to open that song, you might as well just like pop somebody in the face like 6 times because it was like 20 sweeps. But it was definitely in the middle section when he was doing his solo. That was definitely some of the best Romeo I've heard. So I'm definitely, after this is finished, I'm going to go and try to search for this song, like an actual, just a video of him doing this solo or the beginning. I'm sure I can find it somewhere. Maybe I've even heard it before but didn't recognize or put the two to two together, that it was this song, since I've never heard this song before. So that is what makes it weird, is like overall as a song construction, song feeling, it wasn't as good as Walls of Babylon for me or Iconoclast, but technically it was better than both of them. So that's number 2. Number 3, the reason, I guess this would be 2.A, it wasn't, in my opinion, as good of a song overall as the other two. And Symphony X fans, now you got to hear me out. After I did the last review of Haken, which you should go watch that video right now, even if you don't like Haken. Right now, Haken, for me, the singer is the best singer in progressive rock, in my opinion. And I said it in the last video's review. He's not Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is the best technical singer in progressive rock. I've agreed with that on other videos. But part of it is the way that Haken writes, which suits me more than this neoclassical kind of rock. Number two, it allows, because it's not more neoclassical straightforward rock, it allows the singer to play with the cadence and the notation of how they sing in the song, which I don't think Russell has as much leeway there to do that between the songs. So this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Number one, within 2.A, number one, so this is 2.AI, is that I loved the beginning of the song. The way it opened up with the sweeps, the three like distinct like modes or whatever they were doing, the different transitions were great. Especially that last one, that freaking like riff was so good. As soon as he started singing, and this has nothing to do, this is my point, this has nothing to do with Russell's technical ability. It just was not good. It was not bad, it wasn't bad, but it was just kind of like, here we go. The singing, the neoclassical singing, with lyrics that literally are too ethereal and too out there. Now, if you're the type of person that likes that philosophical side, that like, just these, I had a lyric video. But after listening, this is like so many songs I've listened to with Symphony X now. After this, I don't even think I need a lyric video for Symphony X. Unless you Symphony X fans can pick a song by them that is practical in their lyrics, it just everything it seems that they write. I'm gonna say this. Don't get angry at me, but the lyrical content of Symphony X is their weak point. Now, I said to you before many times, I don't really care about lyrics that much. It's like third or fourth on my list, but it is on the list. And though it doesn't make or break a song for me, I've said in the past, if you have good lyrical content that's practical and good and fits as well as a well-constructed musical song, it's the best of both worlds. So far, I have yet to get that with Symphony X, except for Walls of Babylon, and I said it in the context of Walls of Babylon. The story is about a war, a battle, so that context fit that kind of music. But that's gonna seem like it's gonna be a one-off kind of thing. The lyrics here, and I would even say like the singing on it, was just not sitting with me. It was like, And then it went into the middle part where it broke down the synthesizer or the keyboard solo, and then to the guitar, to keyboard, to guitar. Badass again. Why? No lyrics, no singing. And then it went back into the singing. I was like, kind of lost me again. Until the end, when it got sweet again. After he finished singing, and the way it ended, that transition was awesome. So, again, Symphony X fans, don't get mad at me, because, let me explain again, even though lyrics are my number 3 or number 4 in importance to a song that I like or don't like, they are on the list, and I just think Symphony X is not good at lyrical content. At least not yet. Unless you can find some songs that are like practical and like that I can connect with lyrically as well as the musically and technically, that's just their weak point. That's where I feel like they lose a few points based, and I think Opeth is almost in this kind of situation as well. I don't feel like they've written anything that's made me go, wow, that's such a great story as well as great musicality. I hope you don't get mad at me for that, but I'm finally ready to say it until you guys show me a great, practical, lyrical song with a composition that's amazing. That's just going to be where they lose points for me on every song. But outside of that, this song was definitely freaking sweet. And that ending, so I said that transition where it was like, and then it went into half, I don't know if it was exactly half, but it was like halftime into that break. That transition was so well done. And in the ending transition, that dun 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 dun, now it slowed down and they were tight the whole way through. Beautiful, beautiful. So on the one hand, this is why I would say this song is technically better than Walls of Babylon and Iconoclast. But musical composition, it's hard to say, not musical composition, but overall the song did not appeal to me as much as Walls of Babylon and Iconoclast, because I think the lyrics and the singing actually took away from it in this song. It took away from the song. Again, that has nothing to do with Russell Wilson himself, because he is the most technical, badass singer in progressive rock. But I don't think that in this song, it just didn't do anything for me. It kind of took away from the song a little bit. So that's my take on this song, Smoke and Mirrors. I think you guys were right. The commenters that said this is Romeo's like amazing guitar stuff, it definitely was. Those riffs at the beginning, the middle section that broke down into halftime, that was just freaking powerful. Those were great transitions, and at the end, awesome transition as well. Just missed the mark on the lyrics again and the singing. So that's my thoughts on that. As always, like and subscribe. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.